Before this video review gets started, I would like to point out this disclaimer. None of the merchandise or products that I am showing in my videos are for sale, giveaway, or trade. If you like what I am showing within these videos, you can go ahead and purchase your own item. If it is a custom item, then you will need to make that yourself. If you can't buy or make your own version of the products that I am showing in my videos, that is too bad because you are not getting mine. So please do not ask me if you can have any of the items that I show within my review videos, because the answer is going to be no. Thank you, and please enjoy the review. Hey everybody, and welcome to another Thomas Wooden Railway custom video. It's been about a while since I've done a custom Thomas Wooden Railway model. So here is one that I had just finished. I had been working on this for a couple of days, and as you might have guessed, both from the title and from the looks, this this is Algy from the Railway series. I don't know what book in the Railway series he appeared in. If I remember to during editing, I will look it up and put the name on the screen for you guys to see. Now, I don't really know very much about Algy. He was just a bus that was introduced, another bus to probably help with the passengers. And in his initial appearance, he was painted yellow, but he was later repainted in a light blue color. I'm pretty sure this is not the exact shade of blue that he's supposed to be in, but it's what I had, so I just went ahead and used the light blue spray paint that I had to paint it on. I think it's supposed to be like, I think it's the same shade of sky blue as what I used for my cardboard sky background in some of my stop motion videos that I had made for them. So, of course, you probably know what character, or may have guessed as to what character was used in the making of this custom. And of course, it is Birdie. Now, I do happen to have Birdie right here. I had a total of, well, I've had a total of 3 Birdies in either wooden railway or wood form. And of course, this is the more updated version of Birdie, the one that came out sometime in 2001 or 2002, I'm not quite sure. This version of Birdie does not show passengers in the windows, it only shows the driver. The original one did have passengers shown in the windows. And speaking of the original, that is what this custom Algy model is made from. It is made from the original Wooden Railway series Birdie. This was a Birdie that I had for quite a long time. I got it in the Thomas and Birdie's Great Race pack. I'm not sure how many people remember that pack, but that was how I got my first Thomas Wooden Railway Birdie, the original version that came out in the 90s, and this is what Algy is made from. You can tell that because this Birdie has a magnet on the back, and there is no slope on the back. Well, this one does have a slope, but no back magnet. I honestly don't know why there was even a magnet added to the back of Birdie in the first place, because Birdie's never pulled any rolling stock at any point, you know, like, has never pulled any carts. And the same case goes for the Thomas Wood Birdie, which I happen to have here from the, I'm not quite sure what set it was, kind of the figure 8 set. And I have no plans on modifying this Birdie at all. Maybe I'll create some sort of model magic coverage for the center, and maybe just use this for, you know, kind of the background bus, because I remember watching the not Thomas Wooden Railway, but watching the classic series Thomas and Friends episodes, which show that there is another red bus that looks just like Birdie that was used in the background. I'm not sure if it's also another bus that can talk like Birdie can, because we've never seen that bus's face. But Algy, on the other hand, he is a bus that does have a face. Anyway, enough about that. I'll go ahead and talk about the process that I went through with making my custom Algy. I started a couple of days ago from the time that I am recording this video, and it started out with me just taking the face off. In fact, the face actually still is kind of a bit loose. Something that I had discovered when taking the faces off of these older wooden railway items is that, alright, come on, is that some of these characters actually had these nails inside of the faces. You would never have known that just from looking at the outside of the model. This was something that I think I also discovered with my older wooden railway Toby during the process of making my custom wooden railway Ned. You know, this drill that is just inside of the model. And I'm not quite sure as to how the people that made this were able to get that in there, but they were able to do it. And, you know, it's for that very reason as to why the face is not really attached, just kind of screwed on. I have been trying to get it to go on all the way because there is a bit of a gap in the face. I mean, from a distance, it looks alright, but there's just the huge gap that you see in between the face. Yeah, you can see it clearly now. So yeah, I have not glued the face on. I was thinking about doing that, and I may still do that, but I really don't like how it really looks if I can't get the face to just screw on all the way. Just not quite sure about that. Alright, so I just took the face off, and then I was kind of wondering, well, I took the face off so that I wouldn't get paint on it, at least not the blue paint. I did repaint the face, did spray it with the light gray to kind of make it look a bit brand new rather than just using the same old color to make it look like an older model, just trying to make it look as new as possible. But you know, you can, I'm not quite sure if it, well, on camera it actually does look like a new face, kind of restoring the look of the face. But anyway, I took the face off because I didn't want to get any paint on it, and as for the wheels, I was not quite sure as to how I was going to handle the wheels, though. There is actually still some paint on the wheels, most notably at the back of the wheels, but there was also some paint that got on the front side of the wheels, and I did do my best to try to get the paint off, like scraping it off or just using a Sharpie's marker to cover it up. But using a Sharpie's marker, it doesn't really work out, or you can still see some of the blue paint on there. I did use tape to cover up the wheels to keep the paint off of them, but you know, sometimes when you use the paint on these models to keep it off in certain areas, it's not always going to work out, and the wheels are still gonna, or the paint is still gonna get on them. Like maybe you could add layers of tape over the wheels to make sure that the paint doesn't get onto them, but I only used a single layer for each one. And I think there was one wheel that was nearly perfect without getting any paint. I think it's this back wheel right here. Well, except for the back. There's still a bit of paint on the back. And you also will notice that I did write Algy's name on the bottom, just like with quite a lot of the Wooden Railway items in the later years having their names be written on the bottom. I did also write Birdie on the bottom of my older, Birdie model, what this custom Algy model used to be. And I did that with a lot of the pre-name on the bottom characters, although I didn't do it for all of them, but I did do it for as many as I could, because, it just seemed to make a lot of sense if the newer models had their names under their chassis. Some of the older ones should as well, but I did not bother doing that for any of the older characters that I managed to get over the years in the more recent years, but I did write Algy's name on the bottom using a black Sharpie's marker, and I also used the black Sharpie's marker to draw on the windows on the side. Now, of course, I wanted to make sure that there was a equal amount of windows on the side, like there's 6 windows over on this side, but only 5 on this side. Well, actually 6, because there is another one right there. Not quite sure if there's supposed to be a window right here, but I just decided to add one right there. Like there's this sort of kind of a little slope on the inside. Just on the other side of the driver's seat. And then with the headlights, of course, with the newer Birdie, as well as the wood Birdie, the headlights are painted on. But with the original, they were metal. And they were spray painted over. I had no way of getting the paint to stay off, but as soon as the paint did dry, I did scrape off the paint on the headlights so they would still be able to get through. So it took me a couple of days to spray paint the model all the way without any gaps. Like there were a couple of little openings with spray painting, because sometimes when you spray paint a model, the paint doesn't cover up the entire body, so it kind of takes a couple of tries to get the paint to cover up all of it, like a couple of sessions with getting the different layers of paint to cover up the little areas that are not covered up in the paint. And then for the face, as I said, I did spray paint it in a gray color. And I did also get some white paint onto the eyelids. And then as soon as that dried, took a black Sharpie's marker to put on the eyelids. And also eyebrows. I gave Algy angry eyebrows because I think he's supposed to be kind of an aggressive bus. Just kind of, well, probably not as close to Bulgy in personality, although I would not know because I have not read the Railway series book in which Algy came from. I could look up more about him on the Thomas Wiki. But anyway, I did see an image of Algy from the Railway series in his blue livery, which did show that he was, kind of having an angry look to him. Now, I'm not quite sure if Algy and Birdie are supposed to be of the same basis. They may actually not be the same basis, but it does not matter when it comes to the customizations, because if they are a different basis, a Wooden Railway model of Algy's actual basis just doesn't exist, because there's no official Wooden Railway Algy model, which is why I made this custom. Although I was not really keen on making an Algy model, but I just looked at my old Wooden Railway Birdie, and I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to make a Wooden Railway Algy out of this. And that's what I did. That's what I did right here. So, that's pretty much all I have to say about this particular custom right here. Not quite sure what other customs that I may do. I guess you could leave some suggestions on what ones that I can do, but I won't be able to take all of the suggestions. It will just be based around what I am able to get for making a custom model, and it also depends on whether or not I may already have a spare model to use for that custom. I'm not quite sure if there will be any more of the roadway vehicles that I will do. I can't really think of any other roadway vehicles that I could do. Well, except for Buster, the steamroller, because I could just get another George and spray paint him red, and I may do that at some point. Probably not in the near future, maybe in the distant future, but it may be something that I will do at some point in time. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.